Hi guys, it's Laura from Mescal, Arizona in the yarn closet. See, yarn closet. Yep, there's a fan in the background. It's monsoon season, it's hotter than crap. I don't have AC or heat in this room. Deal with it. You know, put on some earbuds, that really helps, or some headphones. I can't figure out how to do a live on Instagram anymore. So hopefully we can get this posted up on YouTube and have a little chat, a little podcast. This constant back and forth is a bit crazy. There's been some person who recently got out of jail wandering the desert in the area that we live, so we're all, a little stir crazy. And that's, I guess, the downside to living out in the desert. And then, the illegal aliens that every once in a while the Border Patrol comes in mass to your aunt's 5 acres and captures like 7. So it's not all just pleasant weather and tarantulas in the middle of your house. So I was going to do a Zoom today. You know how you see on Instagram, oh, Zoom every Tuesday, here's the information, go log on, women's group, blah, blah, blah. Dude, I'm committed to getting into some of these because I need connection, and this is apparently the only way I'm going to get it. It wouldn't let me on with the information. So then I sent a message to apparently the moderator. No response. Not stinking happy. Yes, I'm shouting because I'm trying to do that for your benefit, for the volume. I'm really frustrated these days, okay? So I went off the one antidepressant. I meet with the doctor next Monday to talk about adding a little booster to the one I'm currently on, or going off of it and going on to a different one. Apparently, there are certain ones that work better for women of my age. 51 next month. Pointing that out doesn't help with the depression. I realize that we've lived here for 8 months. No, 5 months. And part of my frustration is that I haven't really been able to use this room the way I wanted to. I'm going to eventually buy a wall unit that's a heater cooler and have it put in. Because in the end, it's probably going to be cheaper to do that in the 3 rooms that need it. Because 2 of them could be just AC. One of them needs to be AC heat. Well, technically they could all just be AC. But anyway. But I have to get somebody else to come out and install it, which may annoy my husband. But he's the one who's refusing to do it. So, that's the thing I don't get. If you're refusing to do it, then you can't get mad if I have somebody else do it. I mean, it's not fair. It's not fair. I have nothing. I'm nothing. I get to go in the car maybe twice a day to go drop off or pick up the child, and here's the caveat. I don't actually like picking her up if I'm the one that's got to walk up to school, because it's such a big crowd and like everybody stares at me and nobody moves for my cane, and then they're like, oh no! Like I'm gonna hit their children. The one lady in my neighborhood who's my age, my husband grew up with her, I think we'd get along just fine. She has not been receptive. There's a much younger woman, 20 plus years, who's got a daughter the same age in a different school district. And so we're trying a play date on Wednesday. Our daughters know each other through my aunt and some of the things she did over the summer. But this sounds ridiculous. I'm at that stage in that point where I just want one or two other older ladies my own age, my own attitude. There's a certain attitude that comes with the 50 plus age. I've been trying to connect with my mom's neighbor. That hasn't gone real well. You know, but part of it is that I can't like drive. So people get annoyed with constantly having to be the driver. And a lot of people my age don't have second graders. So it is what it is. Just a little annoyed, just a little frustrated. You know, I'm trying to do all the right things. The exercise, the eating. Oh, and here's the fun thing. So I go off the one antidepressant and my joint pain has improved dramatically, but also the puff around my midsection has increased exponentially. So that one really was one of those weight loss ones. You know, because weight gain is going to help with depression too at this stage of the game. So much. But I have been crankier. Can you tell? I have been crabbier. It's the heat. It's other stressors, health concerns in the family. There's just a lot of stuff going on. What about you? What's going on in your neck of the woods? My daughter has started soccer. So now I'm a soccer mom. And I'm glad that she likes it. And then my husband, who was just damned and determined to do this no matter what, says the last time we're there, oh, and you know, I'm like when I'm hunting and stuff, like who's gonna drive her? I guess I'll find somebody. So she wants a rainbow blanket. I decided I'm going to crochet it. I'm going to do the log cabin style. And I'm just going to keep doing it in rainbow colors until, and then so be it, we'll be done, whatever. I have one other blanket that I need to do for my cousin's daughter for her birthday in November, so I'm going to do it, I'm waiting to see if it cools off. I'm going to do it on one of my flatbed machines. I'm going to knit a plain section, and then I'll crochet around the edges, which is what I did with her sister. Or, just something that I piece together so that it's not quite as time consuming. I'm sweating. I'm sick of sweating. I don't like sweating. So my mom took the treadmill, that was the manual one, and I bought a plug-in one, but it won't be here till the end of the month because it's a little bit longer. So my 6'1" son, who's still growing, says he will use it more. He didn't like the slight incline on the manual one, and my hip didn't really like that either. So I think that the flat will be easier. So hopefully that'll get me back into the exercise. And they say that walking is a real hormone regulator, stress regulator at this stage of the game for me, my life, my age. Here, let me finish knitting this row and I'll show you something else I'm working on. I was talking to somebody, we did go out in the middle of monsoon for a little Mormon barbecue the other day. So we live in the middle of Mormon country. We're not Mormon, our family, parts of our family are. So we get invited to the stuff and, you know, we go anyway. And because it's a good time for the kids to be with the cousins, whatever. And it was so fun because my 14-year-old actually kind of went off a little bit on his own, sat in his own area, did his own food, chatted with the elders who are actually like the teenage boys on mission. And my 14-year-old is very much into his Bible. And so they did like Bible trivia stuff and played chess. It was neat to hear him enjoying himself. And he really had not wanted to go. He doesn't like social events. But because it was in the middle of a monsoon and still drizzling, I think it was a much smaller turnout, about a third of the people of what they expected. And I was talking with a lady there who was older and also becoming legally blind. And I was knitting on this and she was looking at it. We were talking knitting and crocheting and stuff. And so that was a little bit fun. I mean, that is the upside of being a soccer mom, is I have like 3 hours a week that I get to go and sit and sweat and knit or crochet without much interruption. And so we were talking about how it's so easy to just start all the projects, but then you never seem to finish any of them. And I said, well, here's the deal. So I'll go through phases where I'll start a bunch. And then if I haven't really made progress 6 months later, I usually, or at the end of the year, or finish it February, I usually go through all of my projects and take them apart, frog them, rewind the yarn for something else. Because I may not be a monogamous knitter crocheter, but I've learned that if I only have a couple things going at once and I can get to a substantial degree on one of them, then I can take a break, get to a substantial degree on the other one, take a break, go back and forth until I actually get some stuff done. And, you know, I think we're all just really stressed out these days for a variety of reasons. I think death is touching people in a variety of ways. We've had some suicide, accidental suicide with friends and family. We've had some COVID death. And it just builds up, and everybody, like, I don't know, it just builds up. Little Mitzi is just a love bug. She is barky and annoying, but I don't mind having an extra barky dog around the house. It keeps potential intruders at bay and gets everybody else going. And if you haven't seen the video on Kevin BB Bacon, go check it out. We got a large hog, about a 500-pounder. He is a stinking sweetheart. He'll be daddy to a couple of litters that we're hoping to get bred here pretty quick. And then we'll have the babies in like November-ish. So I had a cut in my chagu wire. So I used a little sandpaper, and it's better. It doesn't catch as much. It's still a little obnoxious, but anyway, here. So you know how I like the cocoon sweaters? Well, I saw in one of my, I have very few pattern books. But I saw in one of my pattern books this concept of like a vest, like a cardigan vest in a kind of a high-low. So it's just this long rectangle, okay? And you make 2 holes for the arms. And then you get this kind of foldy thing. It rolls in, but I think that'll be fixed with some blocking. So it ends right here at about my natural waist in the back. Comes down a little bit in the front to have like a front point. And then I can do like a shawl pin to close it or something, because the other side is going to be like this, so it will kind of be cowl-like around my neck. And so I'm working on that. I've made quite a bit of headway. I just have this section left because I've got both armholes. If I were to do it again, I would make it longer this way so it covered more in the back, and maybe not as wide this way to not have quite so much overlap here in the middle. So, so that's interesting. I started one on the machine. Haven't gotten back to it because it's too stinking hot out here. But maybe, just maybe, one of these days, I will either take it apart or whatever. And then in here, I bought this acrylic nylon yarn for making socks. Well, slipper socks, I suppose. And so I did, it's in a couple of my bags. I have this Mrs. Brown's bucket bag, and then I have a yarn pop. So I've got one ball in there, and then I just put it in the bucket bag. I put the other ball to the side, and I've started so I can go back and forth. I'm doing that back and forth garter, and then you do the stockinette for the toe in the round. And so I've got the really long, and I'm just doing them together. I like it. I struggle sometimes doing socks 2 at a time. I've done a couple sleeves 2 at a time. Well, once I did it. Once I did 2 at a time, and I liked it. I'm liking this. I'm not sure I actually put it on correctly to be able to do them both in the round at the same time, so I may end up having to like get to the toe section, finish one toe, then go finish the other. But still, I think it's more headway. I'm really, really trying to figure out how to feel the completion more quickly in projects. And so that's my inspiration and motivation for you today and this week. Take some time for yourself, even if it's not perfect, because I'm still more smiley right now than I was a half an hour ago. Thanks for being here and chatting. Look with your heart first, not your eyes.